Fighting game players complain about system mechanics, and Guilty Gear is no exception. So there was a big patch back in August, the 3.0 patch, but the biggest change was the most controversial one. It's one called Wild Assault. So this is an attack that uses 50% of your burst, and there are three types: red, white, and blue Wild Assault that are distributed to different characters. But this mechanic changed the game and the way that matches flowed quite a bit, and people quickly said this mechanic was pretty unbalanced. In this video, we're going to talk about what people were complaining about and did they even fix this. So while there are three types of Wild Assaults, the standout version in the previous patch was Red Wild Assault. Its speed and versatility enabled some one-sided, heavily advantageous rounds. It didn't help that a lot of strong, established tournament characters got the Red Wild Assault. So as a quick review, each type of Wild Assault does slightly different things. So Red Wild Assault is really fast, it's the fastest. This is basically unseeable. It advances quickly to the point that people actually compared this with mechanics like Drive Rush in Street Fighter 6 or Grand Blue Fantasy 66L, so that's when you dash and press jab. And while the range is good, it's not commonly used as a poke because in the end, it does have startup. Even if it's instant, it does have startup, and characters can usually just do different stuff. The main thing about this mechanic is how much it improves conversion ability from characters. So I have two quick combos, for example. So I have Kai just doing his normal button stun dipper. In this situation, normally with no Wild Assault, that's pretty much the best he could do. Still pretty good, to be honest, that he can convert off a long poke like this. However, with Wild Assault, you are able to continue your combo and then go for a wall break in various different ways. This is obviously not the best combo. I just made one up real quick just to show how much better the conversion ability is when you use Red Wild Assault. Now blue is a little bit different. It's a little bit slower, but it causes a guard crush, so you can use this with offense. It is quite a bit slower than Red Wild Assault, so I have Bike in here doing 5H into Wild Assault here. So I'm going to try to go under, and you see that I got hit. So if it was faster, I would just block that, but because there's a small little gap, because it's slower, you can get hit out of stuff. While uncommon, you can use this to convert combos as well. It's just nowhere near as good as Red Wild Assault for this. And it's pretty uncommon that characters use it for combos. So then you have White Wild Assault. So you can't really combo out of this if you hit somebody. See, I tried to like 2P after, couldn't do it. I'll do it in the corner real quick too. So you'll see, like I just hit them on the ground with the 2P. Like I can't really combo off it. It is straight up advantageous. So here, I'm trying to hold up and I can't. And you might be like, okay, but you just said with the Red Wild Assault, people don't really use this as a poke. In White Wild Assault's case, it is invincible after a certain point. So not only are you advantageous, but you're also invincible with this. So the big body characters like Nagor Yuki, Gold Lewis, Potemkin, and Benman, they could use this in neutral to kind of approach, because normally characters are pretty good at locking these characters down or keeping them from approaching very easily. So what ended up being really good about Red Wild Assault last time, and why everyone was calling for nerfs, including myself, which if you've watched this channel for a while, it's not very common that quickly I'm like, oh, this needs to be nerfed, is that the amount of burst that gets taken away by Wild Assault in the previous patch was significantly more. So if you use the normal version of Wild Assault, you would take away 10%, and if you use the charged version of Wild Assault, you'd take even more. So many of the Red Wild Assault characters had things, for example, where at the beginning of the round they would hit you, they would lock you out your burst until you reach the wall, and then they would use a charged Red Wild Assault to break the wall and then make it so that you can't burst again. And then they have the positive bonus buff from like way back in season 2 that they get to abuse by just rushing you down here. Or other characters were able to hit you like right away from anywhere. They could convert into Red Wild Assault, into full screen, corner carry, into wall break, and then break the wall Wild Assault if they had the extra burst again. To make matters worse, many characters who have Red Wild Assault already got combos really easily, so their combo ability being juiced just made people feel it even more. So one of the major things they wanted to do with this winter patch, and one of the things that makes this a bigger winter patch than last year's 2.5, should I say last year because I'm recording this in 2024? I don't know. Okay, we'll say last year. So there's not just small changes to characters, which is what they did in season 2.5, but there's also changes to both the defensive mechanic they added and Wild Assault. So you might be like, alright, so is this fixed? The answer is kinda. So you might have noticed something last time I did this Kai combo, but if you look at the burst gauge, way less bursts come back. Actually, I'm able to burst before they wall splat. So it's actually quite difficult for a character to lock you out of your burst when you also have burst, especially specifically from the round start position, which is something that was specifically really strong about this before. In addition, they slowed down the charge Red Wild Assault. This is kind of like a lazy example, but a lot of characters who had Red Wild Assault could very easily combo into the charged one, which means they could take away way more burst meter in the middle of their combo while you watch them carry you to the corner into your doom. So in this case, I'm going to use Ram, so I've been playing her quite a bit recently, and in a previous patch, this would just straight up work, and now it doesn't. So the only time it does work is when you get a counter hit now, because you have extra hit stun to work with because of the counter hit slowdown. So Red Wild Assault actually has a pretty interesting game to play around, like using bursts. When do you actually use burst for conversion and pressure and things like that, compared to last patch where honestly you kind of just did it when you had the opportunity. You can't react to the normal one because it's instant, and for the most part, especially if you're close to the corner, that could pretty much spell your doom. So in this case, Wild Assault was fixed and everyone lived happily ever after, and Guilty Gear Strive is a game that everyone loves, is what we would say, except there's a little something they ended up doing to one of the other ones. So the current one that is making people lose their mind is the White Wild Assault. So White Wild Assault, as you remember, is a plus on block guard crush that also has some invincibility on it. Now, they only changed one thing about it. However, this thing is pretty important considering the characters they gave it to. So the only thing they changed about White Wild Assault is the distance it travels. According to Dustloop, which is like the Guilty Gear wiki, it travels 44% more than it used to. So this is round start, I backdash, he backdashes, it reaches. So this is where you have to worry about White Wild Assault. So it could be pretty tricky because the thing about a lot of characters who have this, we have like Potemkin here, for example, and he tends to kind of struggle at just outside of his biggest button range, which is 5H, but now he has White Wild Assault here to threaten. So a lot of his moves reach inside this 5 heavy. So like Mega Fist, you have Takara, Slide Head reaches, but it's reactable. You can like backdash or jump it on reaction. So for a character that doesn't have a lot of mobility, this kind of makes sense. Even though it's like pretty annoying to deal with, he tends to use it more in like this situation, like keeping you at a disadvantaged position. Where for a character like Gold Lewis, so even though he also could be kind of like kept out because he has some stubby fast normals like his 2P, 2K, 5K, these aren't considered to be like good pokes or anything, but he has a bunch of things that are really hard for some characters to deal with, especially if they have to get close to him, right? So he has things like JD. So this jump D is very, very fast. Even though he can't double jump, he can air dash, right? So this is essentially like a ground poke that's pretty hard for some characters to deal with, and he's able to keep himself safe and set up the situation again. He has his famous drone move, which sets a projectile independently of him, and it just kind of advances. So what they will tend to do is they'll set it and then like run behind it, see if you like jumping, things like that. There's definitely counterplay for this, but again, it's just for a big body character that you would expect to have somewhat problems getting in. Having a move like this is really good, and the meter is like a passive gain, so like he just gains it over time, so you have to deal with it at least once a round, usually twice a round. He has this laser super here that it'll cause a beam to come behind you, come flying at you. Counterplay to this is quite difficult, and they tend to use it after bursting. This is actually disadvantageous at -5, but the White Wild Assault is invincible. So let's say you do this and try to protect yourself with a counter poke, and he does that, so he's rushing at you with an invincible move that hard knocks down. Again, this is plus, so this close slash is guaranteed, and he goes into another plus guard break move, so he gets to start his offense right away. Not to mention, while this is a simple combo, he knocks down basically everything into hard knockdown, so he's able to do his offense faster. And then on top of that, he also does a ton of damage. So all these things combined make it really, really hard to deal with, and him making you block a guard crush is basically his main win condition. So having a move that he has immediately using burst that gives this to him right away from here is pretty crazy. So again, the White Wild Assault thing is kind of the same as previous patch as 2. I'll say 2 because I think for Bedman and Potemkin you can be like, like it's annoying, but it's like aight. But the other two, Gold Lewis and Nagoriyuki, Nagoriyuki, who's top tier, almost every single version of the game, also has this available. From here, you have this, and while nerfed, to be fair, also this. So he has a bunch of things already that already launch him at you, and then on top of that, now he has one that's also invincible. So how do you go about fixing this? They, in my opinion, should reduce this by like half, so it's farther than the original one, but not as far as this. Mostly in that, despite the white and blue wild assaults being slower than the red wild assaults, they're still pretty much unreactable. So at 20 frames and the way they animate, they kind of just appear the same as the red wild assault. The main difference is that at the end, you're just like, oh snap. So if you have something like a burst or something you could do it before you get hit. Where for red wild assault, if they do the normal one, it's like, yeah, I mean, you really can't. What I will say though, if there's anything that's better for sure, is that the really snowbally rounds are way less frequent, because only 4 characters have red wild assault. So this problem is like way more contained, I want to say, than red wild assault. Red wild assault, many characters have it. I'm actually going to throw up a chart right here that'll have like all the characters with red, white, and blue wild assault. And you will see why I was so quick on the they need to nerf red wild assault train, just because like it was so widespread and everyone was making their game plans to do this as good as they can, honestly. Where in this case, I would like it to be nerfed, but it's not as bad as a situation as red wild assault, as only 2 characters have this. But yeah, the most controversial mechanic in Guilty Gear right now, because we've been through the Gatling system, wall break, positive bonus, red wild assault, and now this. So right now, actually pretty chill. And I actually want to know what y'all think about the current version, because even though I thought last version was not balanced, not balanced, probably a little bit extreme, but definitely one of the most unbalanced versions, if not the most unbalanced version of this game, maybe. I did think it was pretty fun. I thought it was pretty silly. It would be hard to play that version for like a year, but playing it for like 3 months or so, I don't think it was so crazy. But right now, I still think there's that fun aspect of being able to do all these cool things with this new mechanic, opening up people's toolkits and stuff. So I'm kind of happy with this version. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it. YouTube really likes it if you watch more of my videos, so please do that, because I spend more time on these videos now that I used to, kinda. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.